If not, I probably should talk a little louder, right? Okay, my name is Frank Tenuta. You heard all that wonderful stuff about me. I'm actually a managing attorney 2, which is better than a managing attorney 1.
Yes.
Wait, has anybody, I usually do a lot of presentations on guardianship, conservatorship, and competency and that kind of stuff. Has anybody heard me do those presentations before? Just a couple of you? Okay, so forgive me if I repeat the jokes, right? Okay.
Those are funny.
So, all right, so I work at Iowa Legal Aid, which means I do all this legal aid stuff, but one of my special interests has been dealing with issues regarding guardianship, conservatorship, and that kind of thing, which involves questions of individuals' competency, and a lot of times involves some exploitation of those individuals. So I'm going to be talking a little bit generally about elder law and elder abuse. And of course the focus here is on financial abuse. Please feel free to ask questions as I go along. I think I've only done this particular presentation one other time, and it was a little bit different than what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm supposed to take about an hour. I don't know if it's going to be longer, shorter, kind of depends on questions. But feel free to ask questions as we go along. Okay, so, and I'm not going to talk about criminal aspects of this. And I'm going to really focus on exploitation involving people who have some kind of a relationship, friend, relative, that kind of thing. More so than just the, outright scam emails and that kind of thing. Because in that situation, it's really kind of a different thing, and your only remedy is criminal, and if the money's gone, I don't know, you may not have much chance of getting at that. But and of course I have a PowerPoint, because today you have to have a PowerPoint. I try to keep my PowerPoints very general, so you don't have to read like multiple lines, but I did not do this PowerPoint. I had somebody do it for me. So if it's wonderful, we'll thank that person. If you don't like it, don't blame me. Although you probably could blame me, because I did have a chance to edit it, and maybe I could have done a better job on that. All right, so when we're talking about financial exploitation or other kinds of elder abuse, there's 3 different laws that we... And this is the kind of a situation where I'm not sure that the daughter necessarily intended to take advantage or financial advantage, but she wound up doing that because she used her power of attorney somehow, should not have been able to do this, but somehow to get her mother into a nursing home, and then she took all of her stuff and sold it, and then she went back to California, okay? Which is all well and good, except mother really didn't need to be in a nursing home, at least not long term, because mother's only issue was a combination of, I think, medications that started having an effect on her, and once they got those stabilized, she was perfectly okay to go back home. Unfortunately, she had no furniture, So what are you going to do? And the daughter's in California, and who knows what happened to the money. So that's a good example of a situation where she'd signed power of attorney, was taken of advantage financially, but I don't really believe that the daughter intended to take money from her. I think the daughter had her own mental health issues, okay? And she probably convinced herself that she was really helping her mom. And so that's why I said where some of these situations, it's not clear that one person has evil intent. They may not, but they still may have an evil result, right? Bad result. Okay. Let's see. Any of these other situations, the same kind of thing can develop. One of the things with family people is the situation where, I don't know what you call them, the son, I don't know why it's a son, maybe it could be a daughter, but it seems like most situations I've had, is the son who's, 50-something years old, and never really had a job for more than 2 weeks, and moves back home with mom after dad dies, and is just helping her, right? Because he's basically, I mean, if you looked at it objectively, he's just taking advantage of her financially, and she's supporting him, right? On the other hand, she may be getting something in return, which is she loves her son and wants to make sure he has a place to stay, and he does mow the lawn and maybe does a few other things around the house, and he's there every day talking to her. And what does her other daughter, who lives in Seattle, care about her because she lives in Seattle, right? So you do get these situations where objectively you might say, hey, this person's obviously taking advantage into those decisions, and they don't necessarily want to fight about it. I mean, I'll give you another example. I had a case years ago where I was contacted by one sister because the other sister had gotten guardianship and was keeping mom in a nursing home maybe when she didn't really need to be there, and wanted to do something about it. And I took that as, look, you want to do an application on behalf of your mom in the nursing home? Yes, she's capable of talking